And we're live. Welcome everybody here to this is a lowdown because it's by here me here by myself, but it may as well be a lounge. Lakers won. Vibes are better. They got a win that I don't think anybody really predicted they would get. One kind of red flag coming into this one in a positive way was how the Lakers the line on Lakers Clippers opened at only 2.5. The Clippers were only giving up 2.5. And that seemed crazy low to me. And I don't know what Vegas knew or whatever. And I think if I go down that rabbit hole, I'd find myself in a shallow grave outside of Vegas somewhere. But that was a monster win here for the Lakers as they beat the Clippers at home 106-103. It was kind of an ugly game at some spots. It was kind of clunky here and there. It was physical down the stretch. And the Lakers were able to do just enough to take care of business and, at least for now, preserve Darvin Ham's job. I want to be absolutely clear that the Lakers, unless they had lost by like 50 or something like that, and there was like an out and out revolt from players, the Lakers were not prepared to fire Darvin Ham coming out of this one. But, there was certainly enough consternation around the organization, and there was definitely enough noise around this situation to be wondering about that. But the Lakers, played above all of that noise. And again, did just enough to beat a very good Clippers team coming into this game. There's obviously all kinds of places that I can start in breaking down that game. We could talk about Christian Wood continuing his good play. D'Angelo Russell made his return tonight and played a role that I think makes a lot of sense for him and for the Lakers. Darvin Ham, I thought, had some pretty good rotations and pretty good lineups out there for most of the game. Some interesting stuff there down the stretch, but you know what? It was enough. And the Lakers looked like they cared when it came time to actually respond to his coaching and stuff. Again, plenty of places that I could start here, but this play, it's rare. I've been doing this for 10 years. It is really rare for me to see a play that takes my breath away, makes me speechless, renders me to be nothing more than an idiot watching basketball in the way that I used to be. Well, I'm still an idiot watching basketball, but in a way that I used to be when I was a kid, where if you guys were watching on the playback, all of us were doing the Christian Wood, and it's LeBron killing Paul George on live TV.
Train down the track.
Unbelievable.
That's a 3-point
attempt. Just an unbelievable dunk there from LeBron. And there are multiple looks at it and all of that stuff. But I actually wanted to start there, not just because it's an insane play, but actually with the way that LeBron handled this game. I was really curious how this was going. Posterized P. That's good, Ryan. LeBron coming into this one, I was really interested because he had there was some frustration on his end of things. I'm told obviously I don't even have to be told, but you've watched him in these post game things. He was asked about Ricky Rubio and said I can't even try to pretend I care about that right now. He and the rest of the Lakers were not in great spirits coming into this game. And I was really curious what kind of tone he would set. And I thought not only offensively, because offensively, LeBron is always going to be special, but to me, defensively, LeBron was masterful in this one. And you look at Kawhi Leonard's numbers here, and LeBron spent a lot of time on Kawhi throughout this game. Kawhi finishes in 35 minutes, Goes 6 of 16 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3-point range, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, did grab 8 boards, did dish out a couple assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. So the stocks are great, but only 15 points in this one for Kawhi Leonard. And again, LeBron spent a lot of time on him. And I thought that, to me, set the tone for how the way that the Lakers were going to respond to everything else that has been going on. And don't get me wrong, you can see it right there. Whoop, you can see it right there as the second bullet that we're going to hit here. We're going to talk about what this means for Darvin Ham and the Lakers here moving forward. But I was really curious, because I'm not going to go so far as to say that we've seen LeBron quit, like outwardly quit on coaches before. We've certainly seen him check out, right? I thought he checked out on Frank Vogel there at the very end. And he for damn sure was ready to watch Luke Walton walk out that door. But in this one, I was really curious with Darvin Ham's seat warming up, with all of the noise that has been going on here over the last couple of days. I was really, I was really focused in watching LeBron on both sides of the court. And again, offensively, he's always going to be a wizard. And that dunk was incredible. So that's, obviously a cool thing to have watched take place. But defensively, setting the tone that way and playing that kind of physical, that to me was the reason that the Lakers were in this game from the get-go and had an opportunity here to win. And the Lakers were able to take advantage of that opportunity and come out with an absolutely critical win. They've had so many dumb losses that you basically have to negate, in order to crawl back into the standings and get back into the playoff picture. And this is, to me, pretty easily the biggest win of the season. And I think it all kind of started here with the tone that LeBron set. Normally, I would have a guest here, and that would allow me to get through these things. But I want to, much like a glass of wine, I want to kind of take my time and enjoy this win, because there hasn't been very much to enjoy because of my next topic right here. Darvin Ham came into this game, and again, based on multiple sources of insight from those close to the Lakers were coming into this one not prepared at the highest levels of the organization to fire Darvin Ham, but certainly eyebrows have been raised, heads have been scratched, red flags have been flying recently with the job that Darvin Ham has been doing, both in terms of basketball stuff and in terms of interpersonal stuff and his handling of the players on this roster. There has been a lot left to be desired there. And, had the Lakers won a close one, the noise would have continued. And I still think this noise is going to continue. This doesn't get fixed overnight. This is going to take a long time to regain the trust of fans, the organization, or all of the organization. Because right now, from what I can kind of gather, the organization's somewhat split on Darvin, and his ability to maybe turn things around moving forward. And for example, I think at the very, very top of the organization, I think what Darvin said the other day was enlightening, because it's true. I think Jeannie really likes Darvin. I think Rob really likes Darvin. And Rob especially doesn't want to take an L on Darvin here. And so, like, at the very top of the organization, they did not want to let him go. Do not want to let him go. They want to see him turn things around. They really believe in his ability to turn things around because of the way that he handled the adversity of the whole Russell Westbrook situation last year. That said, there were people in the basketball ops department who have very legitimate questions about Darvin, not just about his lineups, not just about the way he's handled things, but some of the questions about his ability to make in-game adjustments, The timeout stuff has made people wonder about how this is going to go. Um, and this game goes a long way to like reassert to those people in the organization and to people like me, right, who have very you know tangible questions about his ability to hold this job. This goes a pretty good way in showing, okay, this is the way that maybe we play more of this combination here. And maybe and I thought it was big in this one. D'Lo comes back from injury, Austin still starts, and D'Lo still comes off of the bench, and I liked what the combination of those things looked like. I thought Austin played really poorly in this one. It's a really tough matchup for him. The Clippers have a whole bunch of long, athletic, physical defenders, guys that like that kind of player Austin really doesn't deal well with. But still, if Austin is struggling, he still spaces the floor for LeBron in the starting group. Now the Clippers did start on a 9-0 run, and that made you a little bit nervous there as well. But if Austin struggles there, and you can go to the bench and you can, bring D'Lo off of it. And I thought D'Lo handled this game very well. His counting numbers weren't all that loud early, but they got louder over the course of the game. And very importantly here, I thought that second unit made a lot of sense with D'Lo running things and being its engine, offensively especially. And then, the other smart thing that I thought was done in this game was when D'Lo was out there, especially with the second unit, there was always multiple wing defenders out there to make up for his deficiencies on that side of the court. And you combine what we saw from those wing defenders and the amount of energy that Christian Wood played with tonight. And those second units, I thought, looked very good. You look at the plus minus on the guys coming off of the bench. Jared Vanderbilt was a +5 in this one. Christian Wood was a +7. D'Lo was a +5. Max Christie was a +10 in 13 minutes. A 9-man rotation, very logical, sensible rotation there for the Lakers. I just, there was a lot to like with those bench groups. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that at least a starter was always, when you play 9 guys, it means there was no opportunity to play 5 bench guys all at the same time. I think that was good to see. It's going to be interesting to see when Rui comes back, what the rotation looks like. But in this one, you have at least one starter out there with those second units, and at least 1 or 2 wing defenders to make up for if you have D'Lo and Austin out there together or whatever. I just thought those groups were able to stay in the game, and be a lot more successful than bench units have been to this point. So that was great to see. It was an important development, right? An ability to tweak an approach here has been, desperately needed by, with Darvin and his coaching of this team. And this was a big step for him. Again, I don't think he was in immediate danger of getting fired, but this win, especially to a front office at the very, very top who was looking for any reason whatsoever to not fire him, this was a big one for him. Again, there were questions. I'd like, look, I thought he waited too long to call a timeout in the fourth period. As the Clippers went to their best lineup and went on a run immediately, I thought, instead of a 9-0 run, maybe Darvin would step in when it was like a 5 or a 6-0 run. I thought that some of his lineups down the stretch, right, getting Taurean Prince out there, and playing D'Lo, Austin, and Prince all at the same time when you need stops was kind of dumb or whatever. Prince did help you with a 3 that he knocked down, but he also gave the Clippers 3 points by like spear tackling Norm what's his name? Norm Powell on that 3-point attempt late in that fourth quarter. So There's still, it wasn't a perfect game for Ham, and I don't think he's capable of coaching a perfect game. But I do think though that, given everything that was going on, it looked like the Lakers were responding to, all of this criticism of them and him specifically. He gave a quote coming into this, and I think was very aware that what he said at coming off of last game's loss was not the right thing to say there. Now, he said that he got taken out of context, and I think that's a lame cop out. But it seemed to me like somebody in the organization was like, "Hey, you have to clear this up," and he was right to. And I thought he did a good job of clearing up. Like, no, I meant that this is an 82 game season, and you're going to go through highs and lows, and living and dying with each and every win or loss just adds to the stress of an 82 game season, and that's all fine. But calling it ludicrous for fans to feel a certain way when their team is in the middle of one of those valleys, that's where you run into some problems. And I think, and I haven't looked into this, I haven't asked, but it did feel as if he was kind of pulled aside and was like, "Hey, you need to clear this up," and he did. So Darvin Ham keeps his job for now. Again, wasn't in immediate danger of losing it based on the result of this game, but this does offer up some ammunition to the people at the very top of the organization who do not want to fire him, in their explanation of why they would not. How to build on this is where I want to wrap this thing up. And again, the Lakers beat the Clippers 106-103. It was an ugly, low-scoring game. The Lakers attempted 29 3-pointers, but did knock down 11 of them. That's a nice 38% clip that they were able to knock those down at. The Clippers shot 37 3-pointers and knocked down 38 of theirs, 38% or so of their 3-pointers. But because the Lakers knocked down 11, it's only 9 points. That amount that you have to make up for mathematically is only 9 points, and that's doable, right? That's a lot more doable. The Lakers rebounded exactly as much as the Clippers. Both teams grabbed 40 total rebounds, and again, like, this is how you manage the math. Because if you lose the 3-point battle in a big way, then you have to make up for it in a big way somewhere else. But by only losing by like 9 or so, that allows you to play even somewhere else and make it up on a margin, some, in some other kind of margin. And the Lakers were able to do that, right? So, and like, the fact that the Lakers were able to win ugly, I think, is important here. They did turn the ball over 19 times. They did only grab 8 offensive rebounds. They did, only get to the free throw line. They got to the free throw line fewer times than the Clippers did, and they were able to pull this win off. That ability to do that, it requires working your ass off defensively. It requires getting out in transition. It requires doing all kinds of things that lately the Lakers have not been doing. And, forming those habits is I think, going to be really key here as the Lakers try to, again, take advantage of a quote unquote lighter January schedule. And this makes up for one of the dumb losses that they've already incurred in that January schedule so far. Elsewhere in this one, if you're looking to build off of the success, Christian Wood plays in this one. He played 16 minutes, and we did not see Jackson Hayes. Wood played the vast majority of his minutes at center. I think all of his minutes at center. AD played 39 minutes, and that's getting up a little high. So there was some overlap between AD and Wood, where they were both out there at the same time. But for Wood, he rebounded well. He grabbed 10 boards in those 16 minutes, 9 points in that one, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3-point range. Had that big thunderous dunk when the Clippers played him to basically, they anticipated a pass to the corner. He ball faked it, drove middle, and got to the paint and got that dunk there. It was a great game for Christian Wood, and I thought it might have been a mistake to take him out there late when the Lakers did immediately when Wood went to the bench. They gave up a couple offensive rebounds right away. And so I think moving forward, one thing that Darvin might have to consider here when Wood is playing that way, especially against a bigger, more physical team like the Clippers, is maybe keeping Wood out there for an extra minute or two longer and not feeling the need to, get to those Taurean Prince, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reaves minutes, which again, in this one, I don't think those minutes were very pretty. The other thing here that I liked, in terms of how to build moving forward is, with the amount of wing play that the Lakers got, you got a lot of Max Christie minutes out there compared to, what you normally do. He plays 13 minutes in this one. I thought he defended Norm Powell really well, and that went a long way in kind of stifling the Clippers offense. Jared Vanderbilt, I thought, did a pretty good job when he was guarding either Paul George or James Harden. At one point, picked up a frustration foul on Paul George for pushing off. That kind of stuff is necessary. Now, you do need Vando to bring you anything offensively. In this one, he scores 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field, did shoot a three-pointer. He's going to have to be more of a threat than he currently is. But at the very least, he's showing that he's doing the things that like puts him on the court in the first place, where, okay, they have a wing ball handler who you need to take out of their rhythm. Vanderbilt does that. We need physicality and we need rebounding. Okay, Vando can go down there and pin down and help team rebound down there and grab a couple rebounds for himself. So I thought it was, all things considered, a pretty good Jared Vanderbilt game. And I think moving forward, especially as Cam kind of continues his decline a little bit, and he played pretty well. I do think eventually, see, you look at their numbers. Yeah, they played exactly the same number. Cam plays 20 minutes. Vanderbilt plays 20 minutes. I do think we are watching Vando inch his way up to playing more minutes than Cam here moving forward, and maybe even getting into the starting lineup, in Cam's place. That would be good to see. But I think, and again, this is a Lakers team that has been like begging for, any opportunity to build on last year's run and build with that continuity. And Vando playing more and getting more opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities is going to be an important part of that, I believe. The last thing here that I'm really curious about, and I think Vando lends himself to this, is I know that it hasn't looked great this year. And I know that there was some moments here in this one where it looked kind of clunky as well. But I don't want to give up outright on the LeBron or the Austin and D'Lo combination. I would like to see those two out there with Cam and with whether it's Christian Wood out there to offer some rebounding and some extra rim protection in case guards do drive by D'Lo and Austin, or if it's LeBron, obviously that's a better case scenario. But I would like to see more minutes of that 5-man lineup that the Lakers really used a lot last year, of Austin, D'Lo, Vando, or Rui, LeBron and AD. And Vando getting more opportunities and taking more advantage of those opportunities is, I think, going to be big. And I think if D'Lo was able, really relishes and welcomes coming off of the bench and continues to play well running those second units, that gives him a little bit more rhythm going into the lineups that he's out there with Austin in. So you combine all of those things. And again, like it's not like I didn't think the Lakers played great in this one. I for damn sure don't think the Clippers played great, and they would, I think, say that coming off of this one as well. It was an ugly game, and man, washed. But if the Lakers are able to basically lean into playing hard and playing physical and playing long and getting out in transition and taking advantage of those opportunities that you get yourself through that physical long defense, then that I think is kind of, and by the way, I know you guys get sick of me bringing this up, but that's what the Lakers did in the in-season tournament. Was they defended their asses off, they suffocated teams, they executed as best they could in the half court, but the biggest thing was that they defended so hard and played so physically that they would wear a team down, and when it came time to execute late, that team wouldn't have the legs to get the stops necessary to get back into the game. And I thought, again, there were a couple mistakes made by Darvin late in this one where he went back to the D'Lo, Torrey, and Austin combination late in the game, and it didn't work out. But, most notably, right, I think they had one of the Lakers' worst five-man lineups out there against the Clippers' absolute best one. And, like, when I say that is the Clippers' best lineup, it's legitimately one of the best lineups in the league in terms of net rating. So you have one of the best five-man groups on the court for the Clippers and one of the worst five-man groups that the Lakers can put together statistically out there. And it went, it was a matter of seconds, and it was a tie game all over again. When before that, the Lakers were up by 9 or 10 points. So I do think that, need to learn from the run that the Clippers went on to get back into the game. But I also think you need to learn from what put you in that place and gave you that opportunity to be up late in the way that the Lakers were. So there's a lot to like coming out of this one. Most importantly is it shuts up some of the noise and allows them to refocus and recalibrate here moving forward. And then, for the Lakers, they jump, right back into it. Their next game is, I believe, against Toronto, who have been playing. Yeah, their next game, they have a day off, and then on Tuesday they play against Toronto at home, and that's going to be a tough one. Toronto is playing better. RJ Barrett has been playing really well for Toronto since he got there, and Emmanuel quickly has very quickly, become a fan favorite in Toronto because of the way that they're playing. So, a game that maybe he previously had looked like an easier win, it's not going to be all that easy, and the Lakers need to keep this momentum rolling, or else we're right back where we were heading into this game. Which, look, I know I'm playing kind of I'm doing a lot of reporting on what's going on there with Darvin Ham and with the organization and some of that tension there in the locker room and all of that. I would prefer not to have to report those things. I would love to be able to say, and that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be digging into coming off of this game is, all right, how much did that do to quell some of the tumult in that locker room? And if I find out that it's good information and it's good news, then I will relay the good news. Problem is, lately, there just hasn't been very much good news, and I had no choice and have no choice but to relay news and information as it makes its way to me. So still, great win here for the Lakers, and now it's a matter of building on it moving forward. All right, that is going to do it here for this episode of the Lakers Lowdown podcast. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with a guest to break things down and maybe get an update on the situation coming off of this game, and what the coaching situation looks like moving forward, and who was pulling for what right in the organization. But you know what? All of that doesn't matter right now. Enjoy this win. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Get ready for the work week. And until the next time you guys hear from me, I'm Anthony Irwin saying have a great rest of your day, make somebody else's. And I will talk to you mañana.